So now we study about the nucleus. Okay. So already we know the nucleus means with the help of all theories, we are able to know the many points about the atom. So atom is the spherical shaped one. The total positive charge is concentrated at the center point, that was known as nucleus. Okay. Next, electrons are present and revolve around the nucleus in different paths. Okay. Next, we are studying about the mainly nucleus. The center part is called nucleus. So nucleus consists of positive charge. So nucleus is having positive charge. So positive charge ante it contains only protons. Just now we discussed that. So protons మధ్యలో repulsions overcome కావాలంటే అక్కడ chargeless particles neutrons presence is compulsory. So the nucleus contain protons which are positively charged and neutrons which are having no charge. Okay, these two means the nucleus is nothing but the combination of protons and neutrons. Okay, so now we can write the nucleus is the protons plus neutrons. So combinedly these two are known as nucleons. Okay, means nucleons means protons plus neutrons which are present in the nucleus of an atom are called the nucleons, the general word. Okay, combined word for protons and neutrons is called nucleons. And here one more important, in an atom we know that number of electrons are exactly equal to number of protons, and a negative charge exactly equal to positive charge. Then whatever the neutrons, there is no fixed number of neutrons అంటే protons, for example sodium atom తీసుకుందాం. We take the sodium atom. It has 11 electrons and 11 protons. So how many neutrons? So 11 electrons and 11 protons ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి it is not compulsory that neutrons are also 11. So number of neutrons ఏంటంటే it not at all depends on the number of protons and number of electrons. So అవి same number of proton కి electron కి equal number ఉండొచ్చు, different number ఉండొచ్చు. Okay, generally in sodium there is 12 neutrons are present. So means how you know that number of electrons means it's nature. Okay, దాంట్లో protons కంటే ఎక్కువ neutrons ఉండొచ్చు, proton కంటే తక్కువ neutrons ఉండొచ్చు. Okay, but it is not a rule that the number of protons is equal to number of neutrons. They may be equal or they may not be equal. Okay, next, what is the importance of this nucleus and what is the importance of the protons and neutrons present in it? So based on this we have a concept that is atomic number. So atomic number concept is very important, but actually it was discovered, it was introduced by Moseley. Okay, at first it was introduced by Moseley just at the age of 25 years. Just at the age of 25 years only, he introduced a new concept, that is atomic number. So with the help of an experiment that is known as Moseley's experiment. That was known as Moseley's experiment. Okay, so in this experiment he also given one equation that is known as Moseley's equation. So what is the Moseley's equation means? Root nu. This is known as nu. Okay, root nu is equal to z into a minus b. This was known as the Moseley's equation and is very important equation. So given by Moseley based on his experiment called Moseley's experiment, which leads to the a new concept, that is atomic number. And Moseley introduced there is a new concept, even periodic table, we know the classification of elements to మనకు వస్తుంది Moseley's experiment. Okay, many classification of elements are there which not at all gives information about atomic numbers. For example, Mendeleev periodic table. Okay, totally given importance to the atomic weight. There is no concept of atomic number. Okay, Moseley introduce చేసిన తర్వాతనే the atomic number was treated as an important point or important for properties of elements. Okay, Moseley's given equation here, Z is atomic number. So what he treated is, that is called number of protons. He given the atomic number word for number of protons present in the atom. So here A and B are the constants. So constant, they depends constants for elements. Different elements ki different values ఉంటాయి. Next, what about nu? Here nu generally indicates about the frequency. Okay, so frequency actually ఇక్కడ new word in experiment లో ఇక్కడ frequency అంటే the frequency of x-rays, what he observed in the experiment. అంటే ఒక్కొక్క ఎలిమెంట్ కి different times ఉన్న different elements కి different times experiment చేసి finally he got this relation, that root nu is equal z into a minus b. అంటే Moseley's experiment, Moseley atomic number concept కంటే ముందు టోటల్ ఆటమ్స్ సంబంధించిన ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆర్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ సంబంధించిన ప్రాపర్టీస్ మొత్తం దేనిపైన డిపెండ్ అయి ఉండేని ఇండికేట్ చేసినట్టు ఆల్ సైంటిస్ట్ ఇండికేటెడ్ దట్ ద టోటల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ బేస్డ్ డిపెండ్స్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ దేర్ అటమిక్ మాస్. సో దాని అటమిక్ వెయిట్ బేస్ చేసుకునే ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉంటాయని they are believed. But after the discovery of a new concept, atomic number, it was proved that Moseley's atomic number concept is the perfect to explain the properties of elements when compared to the atomic weight. And atomic weight concept తీసుకునే ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడం కంటే అటామిక్ నెంబర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ తీసుకుని ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడం అంటే become a very perfect, and all scientists are also accepted this concept. Means atomic number means that is number of protons. Number of protons అంటే nothing but ఏంటిది, so they are present in the nucleus. సో మనకు ఫర్దర్ క్లాసెస్లో Moseley's experiment కూడా వస్తుంది, but now it is beyond our syllabus. So means now we can say atomic number means atomic number, దీంతో ఇండికేట్ చేస్తాం Z. ఓకే, సో Z is equals number of protons. Protons అంటే పాజిటివ్ చార్జ్. ఆల్రెడీ మనకు తెలుసు నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్ పాజిటివ్ చార్జ్ ఈక్వల్స్ నెగిటివ్ చార్జ్, దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్. డైరెక్ట్ గా Z is equal to number of protons is perfect one, number of electrons అనడం కరెక్ట్. అంటే the perfect అంటే మనకి number of protons, because electrons ఏమవుతాయంటే general in chemical reaction there is maybe losing of electrons, maybe gaining of electrons and forming of ions ఉంటాయి. అంటే electrons losing gaining అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది ఈజీగా. బట్ ఇక్కడ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్స్ ఫిక్స్డ్ కాబట్టి Z is equal యాక్చువల్గా మనం నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్స్ యూజ్ చేయాలి. బట్ ఇది న్యూట్రల్ ఆటమ్, సో ఆటమ్ న్యూట్రల్గా ఉందంటే ప్రోటాన్స్ నెంబర్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్ నెంబర్స్ ఈక్వల్ కాబట్టి, సో Z equal number of protons is equal number of electrons in an atom. The ion అన్నప్పుడు మాత్రం there is a difference. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ sodium. So what is the atomic number of sodium? And generally 11 means it is having 11 protons and it is also having 11 electrons. But if you take Na plus, so when Na plus is formed from sodium, by losing one electron, so electron loss and ఇక్కడ number 11 రాస్తాం because it indicates about the number of protons, that is atomic number. So it is having 11 protons. Na plus form, and then it is having only 10 electrons. అంటే ఇది సోడియం అయాన్. సో ఆటంలో అయాన్లో మన నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్లో డిఫరెంట్ రాదు కాబట్టి ద జెడ్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ అటామిక్ నెంబర్ అంటే పర్ఫెక్ట్లీ వి కెన్ సే నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్స్. నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ వర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు యూ మస్ట్ యూజ్ ఇన్ న్యూట్రల్ ఆటమ్ మెన్షన్ చేయాలి, బికాస్ ఇన్ ఆటమ్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ డిఫరెన్స్ ఇన్ ద number of electrons. For example, what is the number of electrons, protons in the magnesium? So magnesium 12 electrons, sorry, okay, first 12 protons and 12 electrons. So then what about Mg plus 2? Mg plus 2 ion means again 12 protons. Then what about the electrons? Plus 2 formed by losing electrons. So there is only 10 electrons are present. And there is also possibility to get the electrons also. For example, oxygen O8 rastam. Okay, downwards that is the atomic number. So it is having 8 electrons, sorry, 8 protons, 8 electrons. Then what about O minus 2? So O minus 2 kuda 8 rastam, 8 protons. But how many electrons? So minus 2 charge when an element is when an atom obtained minus 2 charge by gaining 2 negative charges means 2 electrons. Now it becomes 10 electrons. Okay, means there is a possibility of gaining losing electrons. But in neutral atom, atomic number equal number of protons and number of electrons. But in ion it may be more than avachchu or less than avachchu. Okay. Next we see the other concept, that is mass number. Then it has A to capital A to indicate this one. So mass number means so it is equal to the sum of, I think, but the total number of the sum of number of protons and number of neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom. Okay, means ఇక్కడ మాస్ నెంబర్ మనం టోటల్ ఒక ఆటమ్కి మాస్ నెంబర్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తున్నామంటే, సో వీఆర్ టోటల్లీ నెగ్లెక్టింగ్ ద మాస్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్. ఎలక్ట్రాన్ మొత్తం నెగ్లెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. వీఆర్ యాడింగ్ ద మాస్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటాన్స్ అండ్ మాస్ ఆఫ్ న్యూట్రాన్స్. ఓకే, we can't neglect the mass of neutrons and protons. Actually these two are the responsible for the mass. ఒక ఆటమ్కి కొంచెం మాస్ ఉందంటే సో రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ ఉన్న పార్టికల్స్ ఏంటంటే ప్రోటాన్స్ అండ్ న్యూట్రాన్స్. ఎలక్ట్రాన్స్ మాస్ నెగ్లిజిబుల్. So that's why the mass number concept ఏంటంటే it is equal to sum of number of protons and number of neutrons. That is called mass number. Okay, for example, an element is an atom is generally indicated like this. For example, sodium 1123. It indicates that it is having 11 protons. How you got this 23 means it is having 12 neutrons. There is no matter about the electrons, 11 protons and 12 neutrons. That's why total become 23. For example, so magnesium 1224. So it contains how many protons? 12 protons. So atomic number 12 got 12 protons. Next, why it is 24 and it is also having 12 neutrons. Okay, so electrons for 12. That's why we said that number of protons, number of neutrons may be equal or may not be equal. Okay, and for example, take calcium 2040. Okay, same calcium 2040 and same 20 protons, 20 neutrons. For example, argon 1840. So if argon 1840 and so what is the number? How many protons? 18 protons. Atomic number 18 or 80 protons. Also 18 electrons. But mass number we don't give importance for electrons. 18. So then what about protons? So 18 protons. What about neutrons? How they got the mass number 40 means the number of protons. The number of protons 18. Then what about the neutrons? That is 22 neutrons are present. Means here the proton number and neutron number is highly different. Okay, Means on this different calculation we got that the number of neutrons are nothing but equal to the total add చేస్తే మనకి మాస్ నెంబర్ వచ్చింది. సో దాన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని we read the general formulas. So the mass number A is equals so mass number equal in general terms you can write the number of protons. Number of protons plus number of neutrons. Okay, number of protons plus so even we can write what? A neutral atom అయితే మనకి number of proton plus atomic number రాయొచ్చు. Okay, number of electrons అంటే maybe it is not 100% correct because the electrons gaining losing అవ్వచ్చు ions లో. కానీ number of protons simply ఏమంటాం మనం atomic number అంటాం. So that is atomic number plus number of neutrons. So simply we can add the formula A is equal to Z plus En. Okay, it is the general formula for mass number. A is equal to atomic number plus number of neutrons, and it is also used for calculating number of. Now what is the N is equal to A minus Z. Okay, number of neutron equal mass number minus atomic number. Just now we calculated. For example, argon 1840. Okay, this tell now. So what is how many electrons are present? 18 electrons. How many protons are present? 18 protons. So what is the number of neutrons? 40 minus its atomic number. So 40 minus 18. This is a 22 neutrons. Okay. Here they are different. For example, in calcium 2040. So how many electrons? Same. It's 20 electrons because some questions are there asking that the number of fundamental particles. 20 electrons, 20 protons. Again A minus Z. 40 minus 20 equal 20 neutrons also. Okay. Since questions various questions are there asking the number of fundamental particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, or whatever the nucleon. For example, in 18 electrons, 18 protons, 20 neutrons. What are the nucleons? And this 18 plus 22. Okay, 40 nucleons. Whatever the total fundamental particles is 22, 18, 40, and this 58. 58 fundamental particles are present. Okay. A general representation of elemental isotope. So this is an element X element and that's it, atomic number. Here is mass number. So this is the general representation of an element. If X is an element, so Z is atomic number, so A is the mass number. Okay.